question and answers. Question: should I buy one house to rent out or 2 units? Pros and cons. Whew. They're both somewhat a similar asset. However, to minimize risk, I would do 2 units. Downfall of having 2 units: the appreciation value is not as fast compared to houses. So there's a pros and cons on that. The pros on houses are found after owning a few and living on one, or living on both conditions. I found that the house is a lot more comfortable. You're bound to have a lot more long-term tenant. You're bound to have a tenant that's going to be there years to come, let's say, if you have a good one. The turnaround rate is very low. Some of them will maintain your property, but some of them don't. But I've noticed that most of the time when you rent it out to a family, because the family sort of locked into that ecosystem where they're going to go to school, and for me anyway, I don't want to disturb our kids' education, and I try not to move as much as possible. So due to that, you're bound to have the same tenant for a long term. So that's number one. Number two is, if you're having 2 units, it's great. It minimizes risk. I like that factor. If you can also, on the other hand, have it in two different locations. This way, if there's something wrong in one area, it should not affect you to the other area. So that's the reason why I would choose 2 units. The running costs, on the other hand, it is somewhat similar. In a house, you've got total control when you need to fix it and how would you like to fix it. In a unit, if it's in a common area, you've got no control because of the strata committee, or what is the strata wanting to do. So that is the downside of a unit. So for example, the strata decided they want to renovate the whole or the outside of the building, which doesn't affect your physical unit inside. It will affect in terms of the looks and aesthetics if they choose to do that. But realistically, it's not going to change the way of your living condition or your tenant living condition. On the other hand as well, if you want to renovate, there's a certain criteria, for example, that they have to follow. We did a renovation on our unit. Apparently, I have to get a lift permit, and you have to deliver at a certain time so that it's not disturbing other tenants around the house, around the building or so. Make sure that it meets a certain standard when it comes to flooring. We did our flooring. Apparently, you have to have a certain underlay or something to match the criteria around the property. I can change the door on a house whenever I want, whereas in a apartment, you have to follow a certain guideline what the door should look like and what the type of door handle that you should be getting. So yeah, in that aspect of it, you have less movement if it's outside of your property. You've got no say on that. If they choose to, if the strata company, or if not the committee, decided to borrow money from the bank, you've got no say on that. Whereas in a property, in a house, you've got you've got your way wanting to fix things. Let's say if you're a really handy person and you can fix things and the property is actually close by, then you probably want to fix that instead of calling a handyman or some sort. And for us, we used to have one that is about an hour or so away, so I can inspect on the property frequently, let's say. Whereas if it's more than that, like I had property that is interstate, let's say, and it is impossible for us. We bought one and we haven't actually been there since we purchased them at one stage for about 4 years. And we didn't even know what the condition looked like. As much as the agent gives you the condition report, it is a bit different when you actually look at them yourself when you get there. So, and in terms of valuation as well, in a house, it's a lot more faster because the value is on the land, it's not on the building. So I found that, the property value a lot more sturdy, a lot more quicker compared to unit. And I found it's less headache on a house Because for example, yeah, I'm trying to put a split system air conditioning on a unit. That's not going to be possible because it doesn't look aesthetically correct for them. Whereas in a house, I was able within about a week or so, able to install split system in our home. So it's two different ways. Never taken notice of this because in the morning I do have a flight path in here. But I kind of do like making video in the morning. But anyway, that's just another story. I think that's about it for, I guess, the reasoning. Like, it would be best if you have to buy, if I were to do it all over again, I would probably buy 2 houses instead of 2 units. Yeah, for easy access, for a lot more control, compared, because in a unit as well, you can't really do an extension. Let's say if you want to thinking of renovation, you can only renovate possibly the looks on the inside, but you can't add additional wall or do an extension on the backyard if you are on the ground floor. Yeah, there's only limitation on what you can do. And if you're, let's say, living in the ground floor, if you live in the ground floor and they have lift, and if they have swimming pool and the gym and you don't really use this facility, you're paying for the wear and tear of the lift. So you're paying those facility costs to maintain. Whereas in a house, you have the options, maybe buy a house without a pool, which what we did, which is not to have pool because there's a lot of maintenance on a pool. I'd rather maintain the grass instead of a pool. It's easier to maintain on the grass. So yeah, if you live on a ground floor on a unit, it's like, okay, the wear and tear on the lift, if there's anything wrong with the lift, you still have to pay for it, but I'm not using it. But yeah, those are the little things, I guess, a little factor that you gotta think to consider if you're thinking of buying units or buying a house as well. But overall, I would definitely choose a house instead of a unit. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video. That's about it. Bye.